Yo.
Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 174.
174.
174.
Wow.
Welcome back. We took last week off because you were traveling.
I was. Sporting, man. Hitting that fresh pow, getting pitted.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that means.
I don't know either.
Pow is snow. Getting pitted
I
is...
still have no idea. It was just something
I don't know.
saying.
Does that mean you're in like a... I don't know.
Well, it's from that, like, you remember that video meme of, like, there was that surfer, and he's, like, being interviewed, and he's like, oh, yeah, and then you ride it, and you get pitted, and it's like, yeah. That one?
No.
No?
I don't.
Okay.
No. Sorry.
That's a pretty big meme from, like, a decade ago.
Yeah, I'm not quite that old. I'm not as old as
you.
Yeah,
well, you're older than me, so. But, yeah, it was, I mean, honestly, like, I was worried, right? Like, so, I've snowboarded, like, 5 times now. And the first time, all I did was like learn how to stay upright, but the only way I could do that was by like heeling down the mountain. So I'd like heel and I would go regular, and I would heel and I would go goofy, and I would heel. Like, it was stupid, but it was the only way I could stay upright, and I was enjoying it because I was like 19. And then I went like 5 years later with my ex-girlfriend number 2, and she was awful, so we didn't really do it very long. And then
You didn't do it very long? Okay.
And then I went with Lindsay, and she was a skier, but she wanted to board. But the first time she did it, she wasn't very good. And then I went with her family the 4th time, and we both got a little bit better, but we were still pretty bad. And then last time I went, I was right after I had broken up with Lindsay. I went to Jackson Hole, and the whole first day I just like fell on my ass all fucking day, and I was like, screw it! And I like turned in my skis and or my snowboard. And then I woke up the second day. I was like, you know what? I'm here. Like, you need to focus the fuck up. Try again. And it clicked. And I was like, great. And then I was worried this time. It's like, I'm not going to remember anything because that was last year. I'm probably going to fall on my face the whole time. And I busted my tailbone in Hawaii. So I'm like really worried about effing it up some more.
Yeah.
But it just clicked again. And like the whole first day, I maybe had like 3 falls the first day. The whole second day was like a flawless run. Just, I did like blues, blacks, no problem. It was fucking great. So I got back and I was like, I was saving for a Peloton because I wanted like a bike. Because, you know,
now you're going to get a snowboard.
5 months out of the year, you can't bike in Kansas and Missouri because it's fucking cold. And yeah, and I just went and bought like a snowboard, boots, all that shit. And I'm going to go again.
Fuck your plans, huh?
And like, I'll be gone the 24th again. I'm going to go board again.
Okay. The 24th of February?
March.
Okay.
It's currently March, so I'm not going to go in the past.
That's what yeah, it is March, isn't it? Yeah. Tell what I've been up to and not paying. Okay, so that's 3 weeks from now.
Yep.
No pod 3 weeks from now?
Yep.
Okay, there it is. So we gotta fish those things out of Fluff. He forgets until
shit, boy.
No, that's cool, man. I'm glad you had a good time. I've been snowboarding once. I fell on my ass so many times that it hurt to sit down for like a week after that. It was fun at first, but towards the end, it was so miserable because my butt was so sore from falling that I was like in my head about falling, and it was not a good time. So I haven't been since. Decided like, yeah, that was cool, not my thing. I'm just gonna do other stuff. So
right on.
So I'll probably end up going again someday in my life. My wife loves it, so she's really good at it, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, that's awesome. I've been single dad all week, so it's been amazing.
Where's the waifu?
She's working. She had to fly to Atlanta.
Oh.
She's in the ATL for the week, so shout out if you see P wifey down there. You don't know what she looks like, but she's in Atlanta. So yeah, she gets back Friday, so I'm excited for her to come home and, you know,
take over again.
Dad all week. Yeah. Like, you know, can I get some help here?
Yeah.
But no, so I've been busy. Been keeping super busy with that. That's about it.
Sweet. Still WoW, or are you in an Elden Ring main? What are you?
No, yeah, still WoW. I haven't switched games. I've still been playing WoW and Apex.
But you got banned. Like, why are you still playing that?
Yeah, I got it. I was only banned for a week. It's back. It did take some of the desire to play away though. Like once my account came back, I've been playing, but not as hard as I had prior to. So I've actually been playing a lot of Apex, like insane amounts. So having a good time with that. Decided I wanted to get better at it and actually devoted myself to practicing. And not only that, I invested in an aim trainer too. So I've been making sure I spend at least 30 days on my aim trainer to not have boomer aim when I go on these matches. And it's actually it's been noticeable. I'm on week 3 now, and it's pretty noticeable, the difference. So
okay. Well, we'll get into like why the fuck you aren't playing Lost Ark in just a minute, but
yeah.
We'll start. Is that all you got? Should we start?
That's all I got. Let's start. Let's start with the poll from last week.
All right. So last week we asked if I can pull it up. Hey, it worked. What are your thoughts thus far on Lost Ark? Option 1, totally addicted. Option 2, pay to win, unplayable. Option 3, playing but filthy casual. Option 4, meh. And actually a tie here for the first time since we've been Twitter polls. It's a tie between meh and totally addicted.
Crazy. Yeah.
Filthy casual coming in third and pay to win coming in the hard dead last.
Yeah, I don't. Well, let's talk about it. So, do you want to jump into Lost Ark now, or you want to save it?
We'll save it.
Okay. Never mind then. We'll go back. I'll write a note so I don't forget what I was going to ask though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a little surprised. I think I expected a bit more people to be totally addicted, or maybe the two playing but filthy casual and totally addicted being top. But meh.
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't. But I guess that makes sense because our audience is mostly ARPG and it is an MMO, not really an ARPG.
Our audience is mainly Diablo too, because it seems like the POE stuff still doesn't resonate as well either. So I'm not surprised. I hope everybody tried it at least.
Yeah, it's free.
It didn't cost anything. So combat, this is still the best combat of any ARPG.
Easily.
Hands down. Like,
not even close.
Diablo 4 should copy this.
And then for next week, we're going to do something we've never done before.
Okay.
We're going to ask an IRL question.
IRL? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I know, like people usually like the Diablo questions, but not a lot going on in the Diablo front right now. So the question for next week, and we can probably get into this a bit more on the, Fluff hates, Pchild loves. New Matter Podcast question of the week. Would you date a gamer?
Okay.
Option 1, nah, that's me time. Option 2, hell yes. Or option 3, ambivalent.
Okay.
And before Chaz to Google what ambivalent means. So, toxic. We'll post that. And remind me to talk about that on the Fluff hates, Pchild loves.
Okay.
But getting into it, there's no slide for this, but things and stuff potentially happening soon in the D3 world.
Maybe, possibly.
Maybe, things and stuff. Maybe.
Things and stuff, maybe.
That's about it. Moving on to the next subject. Diablo 2.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Did you hear about things and stuff?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
did you?
Did I be? I don't think so, but maybe. I haven't really looked, though.
Okay. I've heard through the grapevine, my ears to the ground in the Diablo 3 realm. And
I'm curious now. I'm looking for things and stuff.
Okay, well, just chill out.
Things and stuff.
Hey, just chill. Okay.
What are you talking about?
Good. Because things and stuff. It could be
things
soon. Could be like next year. Who fucking knows?
Who knows?
Okay. But yeah. D2R. It's still not out. This 2.4. I kind of expected this to be live already. But they are doing another round of public testing. The community is like salivating for this content, and it's still not out. They're going to test the ladder. The ladder is finally going live in 2.4, and they are not happy with the amount of testing they've done, so they're going to do more. So if you guys haven't gotten in, I think that started yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it started yesterday.
I'd rather have them take extra time to test than release, not good things, have bugs and ladder breaking things they need to fix. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Seems like it's been a while though. They announced it.
Yeah.
What?
A while ago.
A while back.
Sure.
It's been a while.
A long while ago. But if you're a D2R fan, I'm sure like you've been playing the same game for like 10 fucking years. So you can wait just
so
like a couple more months.
What's 3 more months matter, right?
Right.
You got your pretty fire graphics. Just go stand and look at some fire.
But I've heard really, really good things from the people in chat that actually do like playing the D2R and how it's going to shift up the meta. There's some builds that were not S tier before, or definitely S tier now, and the rune wars are getting people psyched. So yeah, big things. I don't know that I'll visit this patch still because there are 2 games that I'm heavily addicted to right now. But yeah, one day, Poison Dagger.
You think this will start a power creep cycle in D2?
No, I don't. I think that they're pretty in touch, right? I don't think they'll let things get out of control. Like I don't think they'll change.
You think that next league or season, ladder or whatever they want to call it, that they'll re-nerf the things back down, so it's not like this constant got to make it better than last league. Ladder got to make it better. I
would think like these boys are smart. How it starts. These boys are real smart. So I would think that they will nerf stuff that they buffed. I don't see any scenario where they nerf something that already existed. I can only see them nerfing what they only touched, right? So I could reset.
Nerfs. You know, it'd be a great idea to reset back to the vanilla ladder, like the vanilla unbalanced game, and then rebalance again. Right. And then the next ladder, just go back to vanilla, rebalance again. That way, there's that reset that happens every time.
Agreed. You know, that's when they should do it. I mean, it's probably what they will do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea from Pchild. You're welcome, Blizzard. You can take that.
I think that they're already going to do that, to be honest.
No, I just thought it up. They didn't think that up.
But yeah, what I noticed that I found interesting, I found this post on Reddit that D3 players who switch back to D2, to switch to D2 after release, what made you switch back to D3 and not look back? I found this supposed to be kind of interesting because it was kind of the same stuff that we've been talking about, the big debate topics that we've been having, you know, when we were talking about D2R coming out, and like some of the big talking points, like the inventory Tetris was the first one. People are like, I really, really hate inventory Tetris. Me personally, I'm still like, I don't really care. I do it in POE. I do it in D2R. I don't have to do it in Lost Ark. I don't really have to do it in D3.
It's not enough to make me not play, but I totally see the point of view on that.
Yeah,
it's kind of,
I can see both sides
to make
on
you
this.
not play.
Yeah,
but, yeah,
I could definitely see both sides because, like, you know, there's that lore piece that's like, well, yeah, and you have to really decide what you want to take with you, which is fucking annoying. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not annoying, but it is nice, like, not having to worry about that in a game like Lost Ark.
Carrying 700 pounds of weapons on your back is a little bit fantasy
ridiculous,
as
right?
well. Yeah, so it's like I get it, but it's a game. You know, ultimately, it's a game. So.
Yeah. Guy number 2, he's like, I got bored with the end game, just farming the like same items, got tiresome. Like in D3, he's like, he says he can like do GRs, and at the very least, he's getting like Paragon. So he's like increasing in power and getting better. So he likes that aspect, right?
Yeah.
Immunities to damage types, I think that is my biggest complaint, period, about D2R, is I don't want to leave and remake game because I ran like a physical immune mob. I've always hated that. I always hated that when I played the game.
Well, so let me ask a question. Okay. How does that relate to you for PoE when you go in and there are mobs that, certain types of mobs that you'll have to leave maps over? Like if you're, I've had trouble with physical. Was it physical? I think in the past.
Physical reflection.
Yeah. I was physical mobs and I was playing lacerate, so it would reflect and just F me up real quick.
Right. So you just have to know in Path of Exile that like you don't run that map. Like if you roll a map and it somehow corrupts itself, or you corrupted it and it hits like physical reflection in your physical build, it's like, well, that's a rip. Like you can either harvest craft and get a different map.
So you're cool with the way that they played it in PoE though?
Like you have to be smart. Like you take that gamble. Like when you corrupt a map, like maybe you hit modifiers that are like that's going to be really rippy, but it could be worth because the quantity, you know, fine goes up and it's going to be a really juicy map. But like my character kind of suffers when I have like temporal chains or elemental.
Yeah. When I would get those more often than not, I'd be like, well, rip this map.
Yeah.
Done.
That's what you're supposed to do. Really.
Yeah. Oh, it just feels bad.
But yeah, I agree. I think that but you're not going to run in PoE like you're not going to run into yeah, you might not run a physical reflect map shoot but it's not like you have to like leave and like you know like reset your game or something like that. I still wish I know people are going to freak out when I say this, but I still wish they had like a just refresh or like, you know, hit town portal and like reset the instance or something like that. I hate that you have to leave and remake game. It's like
on your escape menu, reset or
even in D3, like you get a bad GR when you're pushing, leave remake. It's stupid.
They've even in D3 they acknowledge some of the pain with like the vaults closing now after 50 seconds. They still don't for cow levels, but the vaults will close after 50 seconds now instead of having to leave and remake a new game. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, and this guy says, "Oh yeah, like my party member just like picking shit up that I want." Like, it's still kind of fucking crazy.
That's why you play solo.
Yeah, SSF for life.
Seriously, that's why you SSF.
This guy says too dark. He doesn't like that. It's like you can't see very well, is what he says.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, but then there's like some console complaints. But yeah, like I just found this to be interesting. Like so many people posted like what they didn't like about D2R. But anyways, up next, Poggers. D2R Diablo Immortal. So first up, actually, I want to touch on. I think Wyatt Chang had said that their goal is to push out before the first half or before the second half of the year. So, but I think we have some kind of confirmation, like from Tencent or whoever owns it. NetEase.
I think there was something too. Yeah, thought I remember seeing that as well. Yeah. But I don't remember the date.
But so expect Diablo Immortal before July, basically. So I know they're gonna have like another. Didn't they announce they're gonna do like one more closed beta or something? Thought they did. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, like let me pull up. I had like some cliff notes here that I forgot to load. But yeah, so they came out with this post that kind of covered like what they learned and what people don't like, what people do like, what they're gonna change. And the TL.
I will say,
go ahead.
Yeah, while you're pulling that up, I will say that the changes that they made from the first beta we did to the second one, they listened to player feedback quite a bit on that, and they made some pretty big changes based on that feedback. They revamped a lot of things.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's been really, like, especially with Immortal, for example.
Yeah.
Like, the people that are in, like, you know, like, you get the Raxes, you get the guys that are hardcore, or, you know, Echo Hack or whatever. It seems like all their feedback, like 1000% gets heard. Well, like, you know what I mean? Like, you played other closed betas, and it's like you just feel like you're making complaints or you're typing
like,
up like feedback.
Yeah,
like no one's gonna fucking read it, but like they've definitely felt like they've.
Yeah, they definitely read it for sure.
So like that's been good. But basically, one thing that they said was like the bounties people didn't like, and this is a thing across a lot of games. You could apply this to Lost Ark, but they felt. Or players were complaining that they felt like kind of compelled or forced into grouping to do bounties, and they didn't like that. So they're going to make bounties solo only in the future. So that's something. Okay. Also, the Heliquery, which is still, I think, one of the most difficult words to say ever for some reason. They did confirm they're going to have a new boss every month, and people were complaining about how like the first boss was so much easier than the second boss, and so one of the things they're going to kind of like bridge that gap, but they're also going to do tiers. Like, so I'm sure they'll have like, I don't know, Torment 1, 2, 3 or something like that for each Heliquery boss. So you'll be able to run that, whatever that's going to look like. But it sounds, I guess, I mean, I'm down with that, like reusing content. If they had Guardians and Lost Ark, they had different, like maybe each time you get hit, it's like a little bit harder or something like that. I'm down with that.
Right.
The battle pass, I guess they said was like the people were liking the battle pass, and I don't really remember what was on the battle pass. I mean,
much either.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care, but they did say, and I do remember this, the Boon of Plenty, that people were complaining about it, and it was just literally just like spend $5 and get juice. So they did say they're gonna reevaluate that. I doubt we'll see it like removed, because it is, a fucking mobile game still. Like you're gonna have some element of
Like there's going to be pay to win.
Yeah.
There's definitely pay to advance, pay to win built into this.
And one other thing that they talked about is how players were complaining about, I don't know if I can find it, the fact that you were it was in your best interest to stay on one character instead of making alts in this round of beta, which is surprising to me, I guess. I don't know. I know you love alts in like World of Warcraft, but for me, it's like I'd rather spend all my time on my main. Like I don't want to play other characters.
To me, alts are fun to break the monotony of the game or to get a different play style. An example would be, like I'm sure lots of you have played Lost Ark. Like just the way that the two different classes combat feels so much different, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to be forced to play an alt to advance. Like if I want to min-max a game, I don't want to have to play an alt to do that. I should be able to just log all my hours on my main.
Agreed.
And have the same progress as somebody else who's trying to play alts do that too. So that's my thought. But I actually love the variety of playing alts, and that's why I like them in WoW, is because it's just different. It's something new. Like you play the same character thousands and thousands of hours. Let me try a different class. But if you had to do it to progress your main, I don't know, man. I'm not a fan. So.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that Lost Ark, although it's in your best interest to roll alts in Lost Ark, it's the fastest way to get juice for your main. Like there's no question about it. But you have the option to like just do other content. Like you can do the Island Hearts, you can do like whatever, and just keep playing on your main, which is all I've been doing. I still have not. I have 2-3 power passes I just haven't used because I just don't have much interest in playing other classes unless it's something that's cool or whatever. But yeah, anyways, we'll talk about Lost Ark in a minute. But yeah, there was that. So I guess they're gonna make it easier to play your alts or more beneficial in some way or some capacity. They're not gonna kind of force you to min-max only on one character, which I guess we'll see how that goes.
It depends on how they do it, but yeah. Okay.
They did say they're going to add new sets before launch. Set items were in the last round of beta. I didn't hear like one way or the other from the community personally, but I wasn't, I didn't really have my ears to the ground on whether or not they like sets. I know sets are kind of like big, controversial subject in the Diablo community. But it didn't seem like they had like 6 pieces, but I have no idea.
I think they were mixing and matching a little too.
But some people complained that like the power was a bit weak, so I guess they're gonna rebalance some of that. And then lastly, the Paragon. Like people had some complaints about Paragon, so I found this to be interesting because I didn't really pay attention to how Paragon was gonna work in this last beta. But basically, like they had a beta where you just like had straight up time gates, right? So you like would just stop playing on your main, and I remember that, and I was like, ugh, like
they had like hard caps of experience and things, like weird things,
And now it's like the server has like a Paragon cap, and if you're below that by so many levels, you just get bonus juice. So there's like always incentive to be playing like 24/7 because you're still gonna get juice, but you get bonus. Like it's basically a catch-up mechanic for the people
they just implemented a catch-up mechanic. They turned Paragon into a catch-up mechanic. I don't know how I feel about that.
I would love that in D3. You know what I mean?
The casual in me is like, that's cool. If you're that guy that plays 24/7 though, it kind of F's you over. I mean, you might have a little edge, but you're never gonna, I don't know, it might be all right because you're never gonna get that far ahead, right?
Yeah.
Because if they nerf it, let's say you're so far ahead, you're getting 20% experience. You grind out 15 levels that way, just putting in work. Then, the server level goes up those 15 levels and everybody else just caught you. And now your level gap's going to be back to 5 or 10 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems punishing for the 0.1%.
Yeah,
but I'm not in the 0.1%. So do I care? I don't know.
I mean, I've been in the 1.1% for sure, and I think I'd still be okay because it's like, I don't know. To me, at the end of the day, I hated in like D3, for example, where like say I grinded out 3K Paragon and I was going hard like that first month of the season, And I'm like, I'm the top of the leaderboard because like I'm just playing more than other people. Like I'd rather be like, oh yeah, maybe I have that little edge because I've been playing a ton, but I still kind of want a somewhat even playing field so those people can like, for me personally, season after season I beat people above me that are like 1,000 Paragon more. So if there was like more of a restriction, like that'd be great because then I could like actually compete for rank 1, weeks into the season instead of like the bots taking over or whatever. So I don't know. I would like that personally, but it sounds interesting. But it sounds like they're also not quite done with where they're going to go. There's some kind of salvaging mechanic, and I didn't really fully grasp from reading this article because I didn't play that much of the last beta.
That's tied. I know in the past there was a salvaging mechanic that would limit like what materials you could get, and I think it was daily, and that or maybe a weekly or experience. Somehow it was tied to where after a certain point you couldn't salvage anymore until it reset, and that seemed kind of silly to me too. But
I guess they're gonna reevaluate that.
We'll see where they go with that. I think that feedback was given to them by the community, and they were like, okay,
we'll
try to think of something else then.
Totally.
So I think they're working very hard on this Paragon system and learning from the mistakes of Diablo 3. I think that the negative persona that surrounds the Paragon system in Diablo 3 has rubbed off, and they don't want to recreate that. They honestly shouldn't have even used the word Paragon, if I'm being,
I agree, and I think it'll be fine because it's the mobile version. But I really hate in D4 the idea of using the word Paragon. Like it's a really really bad idea.
Because it's not going to be the same system as D3 unless they've absolutely lost their minds. And so since it's a different system, they're really just using the word Paragon so that players will relate it to Diablo.
Right.
It's like make up a new word that'll mean Diablo, and I don't think they should.
I think the only argument you can say here in the favor of using the word Paragon is so that when the mobile players try D4, they don't feel like they have no idea what the fuck's going on. It's like, oh, Paragon, it's something that happens after you reach like max level.
Yeah, but I get it. And that's why they probably did it in the mobile game too. So all the Diablo 3 players will come in and be like, oh, I know what Paragon is.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They shouldn't have done it. But I think they were trying really hard to learn from their mistakes in D3, and they want a system that's rewarding but doesn't give so much of an advantage that it's like, okay, that's all that matters.
Yeah, agreed.
And because mobile botting is going to be crazy.
Crazy.
It's going to be, I mean, with emulators and all, it's going to be just nuts.
Yeah.
So
it's already like, ramping in Lost Ark, and we'll get into that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, enough of that. Path of Exile. Do you want to like AFK or just like?
Oh, yeah. Actually, no.
Just in your mind. So kind of
I'm dreaming.
This was cool. Like this was like a ninja thing that I didn't see coming, but they added Eldritch / Maven fragments tab to the existing fragment tab, which is great because I would just like these would just fill up my inventory. It also gave a space for them so that when you're control clicking, it would go to the proper place, which is great because you can sell these for some reason. You can still sell them. I think that's really stupid that you can sell them, but I accidentally sold it because I was just like spamming maps and I didn't think it would let me sell something so important. But it really sucks because that's like 14 maps you had to run to get this stupid thing, and I just like sold it instantly. And there was nothing to say.
I think I had the Scarab tab, so they just included that on there now.
The Scarab
is part of it.
I think the Scarab was always in the fragment tab.
Was it? That's what I'm saying. I think I had go to the. Oh, that's not a picture. I thought actually in game. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if I have that. If not,
probably. If you have the fragment tab, yeah.
Tabs, I think I don't know how I feel about tabs. Part of me is like that's an okay microtransaction, and part of me is like, man, they know that you're gonna do it, so it feels a little scummy at the same time.
I mean, I don't know.
The game's free though, and it's free, such a good game. So it's hard, you
can get the things that you find necessary for the $60 you would pay for the game. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm on board. When they come out with like the dumb tabs, like when they came out with the potion tab and the gem tab, I'm like, there's no fucking shot in a million years, even though I love this game, that I would ever spend money on that, because it's just not like the value isn't good. So I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, that was kind of like out of nowhere, which is great. I love QOL out of nowhere, and it's free, for everyone that already has the fragment tab.
Yeah.
Also, There's going to be another Twitch Rivals coming up. I think it's March, where is it, 8th? Did I see that somewhere? March 8th at 11. And the reason I'm announcing this, or double announcing this for them, is because you will get drops for watching. So make sure you're watching. You can get these weird thingies.
Their events are awesome, man. I really hope that Diablo 4 does events. Like they have their own
Twitch.
Like
I didn't get invited to this one, and I'm a little scared because like the last one I was scheduled to do, and then I had to like cancel because there was like the work crisis. So now I feel like I've been like blacklisted because there's like,
you're totally blacklisted. Just reach out. Reach out. Like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Back in.
I'd love to do this. Yeah. I hope it doesn't even have to be Twitch Rivals. Like Twitch stuff is cool. I'm glad that they, are seeing that community aspect, but just their events. Like they did the one that they did, I think it was 2 leagues ago or something. They had a bunch of prize pools, and it was basically like if you reach max level, then you get some stuff. You're entered to win or whatever the case is. So, because let's be real, like most of us aren't even considering like, first to kill Awakener and hardcore SSF. Like, dude, we're not doing that. Like probably nobody here is doing that. That's listening, right? They're not going to be. You're not in the contest for rank 1, dude. You're not even in the contest for rank 100.
Mm-hmm.
So, but just to be like, okay, if you do it, then you're entered in a pool to win a prize.
Yeah.
And like they've done stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's fucking cool because then everybody's like, yo, I could win. I can still do this. Even if it takes me 2 weeks, I can, I still have this deadline to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a really cool motivator and a reason to play.
I totally agree. I think I would love to see like D3, like, okay, claim your Hager's gift within this opening weekend or something, and you get, I don't know, cosmetic or whatever. Yeah.
You're entered to win like something cool. Yeah.
Sure.
And the free, do your whole season journey before, the first 2 weeks of the season, and boom, you get some juice. You get a cool portrait or something. I don't know. Not a portrait. A portrait's for lame. Says something out better.
Right.
How about a spell color?
Alternate spell effect. D3?
Alternate spell effect, and dude, I would grind it hard. Depends on the spell. I'd grind it hard.
That's kind of it on the path. I mean, I've been playing still. I'm still actually quite addicted to the Path of Exile League. I do think it's a really good league. They keep making improvements. I feel like we've seen more patches this particular league than we have in the past. At this like far along into the league, they're still making like small quality updates and bug fixes and stuff like that, which I appreciate.
What are those arms reaching up? What is that?
I think it's just a cosmetic.
What is that? Your arm turns to that? What does it do?
I don't know.
Reaches from the ground and grabs you?
No, it doesn't actually do it. It's just cosmetic shit, so it doesn't do
I know,
anything.
but like what is the arm cosmetic? Like, what do you have these arms on your back? I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a house or like a hideout.
Oh, hideout item? Could be, yeah.
Maybe.
Cool.
But yeah, I think this league's effing great. And if you guys haven't checked it out yet, you definitely should. Awesome. But yeah, also Lost Ark, right? So I'm heavily addicted to Path of Exile, and I'm somewhat addicted to Lost Ark. But yeah, so already we have from Lost Ark from Amazon an update on what's to come. So by the end of March, we're going to get the first ever Abyss raid. So right now there's Abyss dungeons, which are 4 to 8 players, and they're very challenging. And I wish you would level so we could do those together because they are really frustrating in pugs. But yeah, I think that they're going to come out with this Abyss raid Argos. So this is going to be, I think, I want to say 8. Yes, 8 players. And these are really challenging. Basically, it's like a Guardian raid, but on crack and with 8 people.
Is it super mechanic heavy, I would assume?
Yes. This would be the hardest content in the game. And Abyss dungeons are quite difficult. And some of the Abyss or the Guardian raids are quite difficult as well. So, poggers already like coming into the game.
They're coming in hot. They came with a plan, man. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, to talk about my addiction to Lost Ark, I don't know. There was a point in time when I would have given anything to be able to play the game. I played over on the Russian servers. I leveled 3 characters. When I did it again in NA, the combat was just as amazing as I remembered it to be, But for some reason, I wasn't as hooked. I wasn't like, this is all I want to play. This is all I want to do. I was like, yeah, this is cool, but I've done this. I remember this. And I think that might be some of the problem is like, I've done this. This is now the 4th time I've done this quest. Even though it's been like a year, I still remember the majority of it. Combat's different, but by the time you've leveled a character to 50, you're pretty familiar with this combat. So I don't know. I don't know what it's the game's great. I don't want to knock the game and say it's not, because it is, but for some reason I haven't been like, this is all I want to do. This is all I want to play.
Yeah, I mean, I was in
I don't know if that's it.
I was in that boat for when I was leveling. Like, leveling is god fucking awful. It really, like, there's no way around it. I think my brother, IRL brother, has recently started playing, and he's going through the campaign, and there's like, we get triggered by the same shit, like unskippable cutscenes, like too much, like, GG through story text. It's awful. Like, it's really, really awful unless you're really into story and you like, questing in World of Warcraft, which I also found fucking terrible. It's exactly the same as that.
Questing in WoW is better than...
No, it's exactly the fucking same. At least in this game, the combat is far superior than World of Warcraft. But... it's just like, go talk to this guy. They're right next to each other. Like, just have a conversation. Like, why do we have to keep running?
Like, they do an interesting job, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but Lost Ark definitely has like they try to break it up into segments. It's like, here's your combat segment, go kill guys, go do things. Now here's your quest segment, talk to this guy, talk to that guy, talk to this guy, talk to that guy. And then it's like, okay, now you go kill stuff for a little bit. Now you talk to people for a little bit. Go kill stuff, go talk to, and it just repeats that the whole time. It's like talk, kill, talk, kill, talk, kill. And eventually it's just like, oh, this is a talk section. You'd run around, and I ended up binding a button on my mouse to spam the G key because I wanted to skip everything so badly that I was just, as soon as I would just spam the G key, I would just hold that button, spam G key. Because I couldn't take it. I don't know what, but like, Lost Ark is phenomenal. I don't want us to come off negative because it's a good thing. I think it just is a timing thing for me. Because I'm heavily addicted to WoW and I'm heavily addicted to Apex right now. And so it launched when I'm kind of at a high peak in both of those things.
Old games. Like, you're crazy, dude. This game
Apex
is finally out. Here's what I'll say,
out.
right? So you got to get through the leveling. I'm with you, man. Like, that part blows. But I think the end game is significant.
I'm 50, and I'm at the final castle place. I just got to it, but it's like,
but you got to get on the grind of what you're supposed to be doing. And like, I think that stuff's different enough than it was in either region that we played, is to make it more exciting.
Right.
For sure. I'm
not shelving it. I definitely think that I am going to play Lost Ark at some point. I think it depends now will be if and when I jump back into it and I get addicted, how much catch up is going to be required, and is that going to be like, if I want to catch up anytime relatively soon, am I having to pay to win? Am I having to pay to catch up? I don't know the answers to that, and I may not find out until I try to do it. But
I would be floored and flabbergasted if, like, so the T3 is the highest right now, and we're gonna get towards the end of T3 towards March or the end of this month. If it's like when they announce like the next big thing, like T4, if they didn't have, I'd be just like floored if they didn't have some kind of thing that was like, you can like immediately catch up to T3 or something like that.
Yeah, because
Korea has that.
They did that in Russia. They did it too. Like, you could spend, it was 100,000 silver or something, and they gave you a box that had like item level 700 gear in it or something. Yeah. I remember doing that. I remember buying it on my Warrior or Berserker. So
there's gonna be that. But I don't know. I still think like the game is worth. The thing that I'm upset about, and it's kind of the same thing I said last week, is I feel like we're being rushed through this content really, really fast. Like, I, kind of flew through T1. I misspoke last week when I was like, oh, I'm already done with T1. I was done with the first half of T1. So I misspoke a little bit there, but I still flew through it.
I wonder if they're trying to do that to catch us up with they are. The Korean servers. Sure. So it's like patch hits everybody at the same time.
But I would rather them to trickle that over the months. Like they giving us T1 this month. I think there's plenty of content to do in the game if they just release the like if we only had T1 this month, if we're still on T1 right now, people would not be bored, like, because there's still a ton of shit to fucking do in this game. And then T2 next month, because again, there's like an abyss dungeon that I didn't even finish in T1. Like, there's not really much reason to do it now other than like a little bit of gold. So it's like, well, that's kind of sad because that shit's like really fun and exciting and dangerous and challenging. And there's, you know, like, right. The good thing is that you can't do like next Guardians until you finish the previous Guardians. So at some point you have to do all their Guardians, but still there are many, many Guardians. I only did one time and I never ever did them again.
Yeah, and the problem you'll have with that is as people progress too, it'll be more and more difficult to find groups to kill those Guardians as well, which then sets a block for people to catch up unless they do a bypass system where they either reward people for going back or they just let you skip it altogether.
I think that, you know, that's kind of maybe one of the benefits of like the community and like joining a guild. It's like someone will carry you through old stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a thing. It's already happening. So like, to getting into the bot thing, right? So bots are running pretty rampant right now in Lost Ark. They did have some insight as to like the bots are only surviving for like literally like 5-10 minutes before they get like deleted. But obviously that's not going to stop them from like logging in and spamming the chat channels with like buy gold.
I've seen that. Yeah.
But they're also going to make an update where you're not going to be able to talk in global chat until you're like level, I'm going to say like 20. You're still gonna be able to like talk in your party and stuff like that, but you're not gonna be able to spam like global. So like chat will not
the bots have to put in work before they can spam us.
Basically.
So they'll just make bot programs at level and they'll still spam us. But
right. And there have been people reported and caught for buying gold through these third-party websites. I think Datmos was saying that like someone spent like literally thousands of dollars and then got banned. Because they could track that he bought gold.
This is all MMO stuff. Like this happened. This has been happening a while for 15 years.
Right,
the spammers in chat, they still have it today. Like they still haven't gotten rid of it. The gold buying, like, you know, I can't even tell you how many times it'd be like raid night, and then XYZ raid member is like, "Yo, I'm banned," and we're like, "What happened?" He's like, "I bought gold," you know, and it's just like stupid. You already know. And so people are like, well, you buy gold on the alt account and then you launder it to your main account by like using the auction. Like they have these systems, man, that's just crazy. Like people are like, yeah, you buy it on your alt and then really quickly you have to like buy a feather that's worth like nothing for 1 million gold or something stupid, you know? So it's like, you guys are idiots.
Ridiculous.
But, yeah. Or you could just play the game and get it, you know, and not fuck the economy.
I've definitely never bought anything from like a site.
Yeah, either.
Also, this is kind of the big thing. So, you know, and we'll talk about this in the Fluff Hates as well. So the Guardian raids, apparently, and this is something that chat told me, and it doesn't really talk about in this article, but Guardian raids and some of the Abyss Dungeon stuff, they got like 50% more health for NA. So they actually became like more difficult than they were in the other regions.
Really?
Which is weird for me because I feel like when I played heavily when I was in Korea, I remember the Guardian raids being like just as difficult, if not even more difficult than they are now. Like Necrocina, for example. Like that fight was so fucking hard.
Which one was the big wolf guy? He was one of the early guys. There was like a big wolf dog thing. You had to go into a cave. Like not a cave. You were in like this big circular map. And there was like, I just remember some big white dog wolf.
Oh, Lumaris?
Maybe. I don't remember his name.
Anyways.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He was pretty easy.
Yeah.
I wonder how he compared. Is he still in
I thought he was easy. I mean, it just took a lot of time because apparently they have buffed health. But what they're going to do, I think this patch isn't in yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to go live like tonight, is basically across the board, stuff's getting nerfed like hard on health, which I mean, I'm not crazy about, but at the same time, like this guy, for example, Akates, I'm stuck on him right now because literally people, and we're going to get into Fluff Hates a little bit fucking earlier, I guess. People like cannot watch a 5-minute YouTube video on how to do a fucking fight. And he's going and they die and they like, and in this fight, for example, you can get like 4 stacks of this debuff on you. If you get 4 stacks of the debuff on you, you get this like aura around you that damages anyone around you and also gives them stacks of this debuff. And like people just stay in when they have 4. Like, first of all, you shouldn't be getting 4 stacks, period. Like it's pretty easy to dodge. But at the same time, like if you you were in the range.
Get out.
Yeah, you need to get the fuck out. Like, just stop being.
Does it have a visual? Does it have a visual that
you have
shows
this
you?
giant circle around you that's like damaging players that you can see.
Nobody's like, I wonder what this is doing. Huh.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then it also has a mechanic where it's another circle that gets around you, and when that circle expires, it's going to put a thing on the ground that hurts players if they stand in it. So like players are like,
this is like typical MMO mechanics, right? Yeah,
exactly. And so if it puts that thing on the ground, you need to run away and like put it on like the corner of a map, basically, like on the edge, like somewhere out of the way, but people just stand
put that
in
shit
there
right on the boss. Yeah,
exactly. So it's like really dumb, like you said, really dumb MMO stuff, and there's just so many bad players. I don't know.
So there's definitely a grace period, right? There's definitely the game's brand new. I don't want to ruin the experience. I like to figure some shit out. I think if you're in that mindset, though, I think this is a valid argument. I feel when people are like, the game's been out for 2 weeks, like chill the fuck out. We're not supposed to be experts yet, right? And part of me is like, yeah, I agree with that. Like, enjoy the game, enjoy learning experiences. But if you want to go into raids blind, then you need to have group mates who are also blind and are okay with that. If you're going to randomly queue, I think you have a responsibility to pre-educate yourself on mechanics.
Okay.
Because I'm totally cool. I'm totally cool. Huh?
The patch is tonight at 12 a.m. Sorry, just saw that.
12 a.m. Yeah, nice. So cool. So get more loot, boys.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm okay, man. I'm okay with the blind. I think some of the most fun I ever had in any video game experience was doing Destiny raids when they would drop blind. Like, I had a team of people. It was different for every raid, but I would find a team of people that wanted to experience it blind. We didn't want to watch streams and YouTube videos of, we figured out the first boss, this is how you do it. Like, we were like, fuck that. We want to go in and learn the mechanics. That shit was crazy fun. It was super, super fun.
I concur. Like, if it's like you and Chuck Norris or something, and we're all in the group and we're doing a garden raid and people are failing mechanics, it's like, okay, what can we learn from that? But once a pug, it's like, God, you're so fucking annoying that you got hit from that.
Yeah, after the first week, I don't think there's an excuse. Like, you have to coordinate and find people who are willing to be blind and learn the stuff with you. Because after the first week, it's like, you got people that just want to get the shit done. So you need to.
I think that's still the problem, though. Is that you're flying through all these garden raids. There's like 8 per tier. And like, they basically, maybe they'll hit a group where they get carried up to the next tier or whatever. Or they're just running Chaos Dungeons and they want to try the new Guardian or whatever. And they just suck. They suck. And I think that's the one thing that I'm upset that I didn't play a little harder, right? So I'm T2 now. Obviously, if I was playing my normal hours on just Lost Ark, I would be T3, 100%. And I think that's the best benefit of being T3 right now is you're in a pool of good players. Whereas I'm stuck with like the people that are just now hitting like T2 and they're just not good at games. Right.
Yeah. I feel you, man. Right.
But I guess a bunch of this stuff's getting nerfed tomorrow or tonight. So maybe like I'll be able to kill this dude in a pug. But I also think that's kind of sad, honestly. I'd rather just like have players in the guild that are like good. And I think that's
part of the turnoff for me too was the launch and having the community fragment like it did too. Because I had people that were going to come play with us. I had people that were going to join the guild and come over to our server, and they're not now. Like, they're on different servers and different areas. And I guess we could still do raids together,
Yeah, you're eye level 257, last logged in 13 days ago, P. What are you doing?
What are you Apex doing? And WoW?
Stop.
I told you, man.
Stop.
Apex and WoW. Like, listen, this just log in.
Just cut out WoW and play this instead. It's the MMO.
Not as good as WoW, I'm being honest.
You don't even know because you haven't even played this game.
It's not. I just tell you.
You've never done Abyss Dungeons. You've never done any of the cool shit.
It's not. So
it's better.
It's okay. I'm not knocking it. I like it. I want to play it more. I just wish I had more time, man. I don't have unemployed full-time streamer Pchild time that I used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
It just is what it is, man. So again, that's why I think it's a timing thing for me. Had this come out a year earlier, I think I would have been, 100-hour a week grinding this shit.
I think that's I think you touched on this a bit earlier. I think the greatest thing about this is, like maybe you're not crazy into it right now, but maybe when Apex starts to die down, or when World of Warcraft is waiting on the next old expansion to come out. Fuck, I don't even know why you play that. But I think that this game will be waiting. I think that goes, for a lot of people in chat. It's like the game's not going anywhere. The tons of content's always going to be there.
We had a POE league drop like the week before. So if you're a POE player, it probably pulled you away.
Yeah.
The Apex new season dropped like the week before. For me, the phase 3 of TBC Classic hit like 3 or 4 weeks before, but that's not something you burn through in 3 weeks. Like that phase takes forever. So so there's just things that keep me away, but I do like it. I'm gonna play it. You know what I mean? So it's not a matter of if or when. It's just a win. It's like, okay, when I get bored with these other things, then I'll pick it up.
Yeah,
so, for sure.
Good.
And how do you feel about PvP? So I've done some PvP matches.
Okay.
Albeit not having a lot of knowledge on a PvP spec or play styles, or having even being max level. I'm 50, but I don't think I didn't have all my skill points and other things. Which they might normalize the skill points. I might actually get all those anyways. I'm not sure.
I do.
So I put together some book. I forget what they called it. I think it's a book, right?
Yeah.
And of builds. And I did some matches, and I don't know, man. It really wasn't as fun as I was hoping it would be. But it was the only style I did. It was 3v3, and it was like a timer, and it was a kill count. So whoever got the most kills, and I think it was like 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Won the match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was okay. It wasn't as fun as I hoped it would be. That being said, I'm not really judging it yet, because that'd be like saying like, you did a BG on low level WoW character and you're judging BGs from that, because that's not what they're like. Right. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a few thoughts on this. So one is, I don't know that game mode is that great in Lost Ark.
I don't think it is, honestly.
I think the best one is the one where it's one-on-one, but it's one-on-one, and then whoever wins that gets to go into the second guy of the other team, and like the one guy can 1v3 like the whole team if he's good enough. Mm-hmm. Or like, you got him like half health, now it's your time to step in, and then maybe the guy that like stepped in for the other team is actually better than you, or like counters you better. Like, I think that's the best game mode for Lost Ark for pugs, right? For like just BGs. I think that once like the one thing that Lost Ark hasn't done yet is kind of force you into that PvP a little bit, or encourage you to do that. So I don't feel like a ton of noobs are jumping in to PvP, because it honestly doesn't even really tell you that PvP is like a thing. Really,
there's a quest that sends you to that
board,
area,
right? But it doesn't force you to like
then
join
from
a match,
there, it's
right?
like kind of on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like what a lot of people were doing is you were edging the screen. They would sit up top and trying to just like bounce up and down at the edge, trying to bait you into one of their stuns. So like every class, for the most part, has a stun mechanic, right? Mm-hmm. And so they'd shoot their shot, and if they hit you with the stun, then the whole team would converge on you and try to F you up. But if they missed, then it was literally like, okay, let's run around till it's off cooldown again. Like, let's just avoid combat. And like, that wasn't super engaging to me. It was like, oh, that guy missed. Now he's running for the next 25 seconds.
I think if you have
you're trying to catch
good players, then it's not really like that. It's pretty intense. Like, you're not going to be just waiting on like your stun cooldowns, and you've got 3 people on your team. So if you got like a good coordinated team, then you guys are going to hit different things or whatever.
Like I said, it's not judging it. I don't have enough experience yet to say it's bad or good. I was just curious.
But I think the big thing, right? Like the big thing, and how I feel right now is like, again, there's no incentive really. There's no ranked yet. The rank's going to hit, I think, by the end of March probably as well, or maybe early April. And that's like the juice, because then there's like, oh, I'm playing to get a higher rank. I'm not just like in here. Like, I think it's good right now. It's like you don't want to like get no practice before the ranked comes out, and like go into like trying to do a triathlon if you've never like biked before or something like that. So
right, yeah.
But yeah, I think I
was really excited for it, and after playing it, I lost a lot of that hype. So I hope that there's, and I also think that there could be other game modes that they could do as well.
And they will.
It's like, in all honesty, like PvP is the reason I play WoW. Like if PvP didn't exist, I would not play World of Warcraft. Yeah. I would have quit 15 years ago.
Right.
That's the thing that keeps me playing. The PvE is fun and I love it. Don't get me wrong, but PvP is why I come back.
Yeah.
And
it's like vanilla WoW, right? Like what did they have for PvP in vanilla WoW? It's kind of like the same shit.
They put Battlegrounds in eventually, and those were fun, but they refined on that. Battlegrounds are great. That's my casual. I'm just going to go F some guys up. And then there's Arena for if you want to get serious and rate it. So I hope that they add
we already know that modes. They are. We already know
I don't know if they do any kind of, King of the Hill, capture the flag, any kind of things like that. Then that's
all
cool.
exists in Korea.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So.
And BR. Eventually, so.
Oh, really? Yeah, VR.
Tested that last week. So, but yeah, Lost Ark is going good. I'm having a good time. I do get still like when I advance to like the next tier, you have to go through a series of quests, and it's like, God damn, I'm doing the campaign all fucking over again. But there's still something like addicting about like just finishing all the things. Like there is just a thing. Like I'm sure you can identify that as a WoW main. Like that's literally all WoW is. It's like you want to do all the things and like finish all the things on your character on your main. So
Lost Ark has so many things. Like there's so many systems. Like it's nuts. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even. It's hard to even wrap your head around it as a newbie. You're like, wait, what? What is this thing? What does that do? How does this work? Okay, I'll mess with that later.
Yep. So. And then did you want to touch on this long thing you put in the filler?
I think we talked about that last time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was
okay. Well, then let's get right to it. Okay.
Let's do it.
So this is my Fluff Hates Part 2. Obviously, Fluff Hates Part 1 was like watch a fucking YouTube video, right?
Well, hold on.
What?
Before we get to that,
what?
We want to talk about Elden Ring?
Oh yeah, okay, fine. Is it? Have you? Right? No, I thought I put that on there as a bait for you. Like I just assumed, as a variety gamer, you were playing Elden Ring. But yeah, it seems to be popping
I haven't. It looks interesting though. So here's the.
Looks like just like all the rest of the other fucking games. I don't know.
It looks like the other Dark Souls games. The draw to me was if it was co-op. If it was co-op, I was going to be like, Fluff, let's buy Elden Ring and just grind this and play it together. Let's just see. Like, let's see how good it is. So it does have multiplayer, from what I can understand. But I don't think we can like play together through the campaign. I think what it is, it's like, come help me with this boss. I need help. I suck. Is kind of the way I'm taking it. So you guys can leave comments, or if you're in chat and you've played it, like let us tell me, can Fluff and I both, if we both buy a copy of the game, could we play through the campaign or play through the game together? It would be absolutely hilarious to fight some of those super punishing bosses as a duo. You know what I mean? I think that'd be fun. So. But no, I haven't bought it. If the co-op exists and it's a thing where you can actually play through the campaign, then I would be consider it. My brother was like, "Are you gonna get it?" He's like, "I'm gonna get it." I was like, "I don't know, maybe we'll see." So
okay,
that's it. All right.
Yeah, but I will say, so I guess before the game came out, I had like one of the highest like pre-release reviews from like the insiders basically.
Yeah, everybody's saying it's amazing.
So, to me, it looks like just like all the other ones. I honestly think they graphically don't look good. Like when I look at the game, I'm like, I don't understand like why people like. There's so many games that graphically look way better. It's got to be the gameplay that's carrying. But then I see people say like, "Oh, it looks so good." I'm like, no, it fucking doesn't. It looks like
it looks okay. It doesn't look like the greatest. It doesn't look next gen.
Yeah.
And gameplay. I've heard people say that the loot systems are good in it, though I don't know what that means. They just say it's got ARPG style loot, which I'm like, so does that mean you're killing bosses and farming items? That's what it would mean to me. The difficulty is an appeal to some people. I guess that's okay. If the same boss is pounding my face in for an hour, like I don't necessarily think that's really fun either. So, but then part of me is like, well, are these guys just noobs too? I don't know. So, we'll have to. Yeah.
Anytime I watch anyone play like Dark Souls or any of those games, it just feels like they're sitting there and they're like rolling or they're dodging and
dodge one hit.
Sometimes they'll like get stuck inside the mob, and that's like when they like take damage, or like the mob's too big for the area it's in. So there's like a lot of wonky, like it swings but it like collides with something. I don't know. It's just
like if a game's not multiplayer, my interest in that game is almost at zero, usually out of the gate. Every game I play is multiplayer because I want to play with friends. So if like I said, if Fluff and I could do co-op in Elden Ring, my interest is super peaked. If it's like, nah, it's just help on a boss, then honestly, I'm probably never gonna play it. So that's.
I don't even know how I would play it if we could play it together. Like it does not appeal to me at all.
Yeah. So,
maybe one day.
Someday, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think you can. So.
Okay, but let me ask you this as a follow-up. This is going to go into the Fluff 8s as well. Okay.
All right.
As a follow-up, if you could play Elden Ring co-op campaign, right? Okay. Would you do it with your wife?
Fuck no. She's not a gamer, bro. We would never make it. All right, so okay. I have 2 gaming experiences with my wife.
Okay.
One, so my wife loves scary stuff. She loves scary movies. She loves haunted houses. Anything that's gory and scary, or either or, she's into. And so I'm like, okay, let's play. It was Last of Us. It was PS4. We bought a PS4, came with Last of Us, and I was like, let's play this together. It's kind of going to be scary, right? It's a cool story. Let me see if I can introduce you to gaming through this game. And so I was like, you're going to play. I'm going to sit here. I'll just be the gamer coach because, game shit. Like, go check that box, go open this door, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so I handed her the controller, and she had never gamed her whole life, right? She couldn't control the character. Like, she's like running the face of the character into a wall, and like, the left stick, right stick on the controller was, taking a long time to process because she's mid-30s at this point and never played a game. So we did it for like, I don't know, 35, 40 minutes. And then she's like, here, this is frustrating. This is stupid. You do it, And so then I drove and she just watched. And at that point, it's like, she's not gaming, right? So that was one. So number 2, the second experience was when pandemic hit, they gave away Detroit Become Human. And if you don't know what that game is, it's like a game where you kind of just make choices in the game. You don't really play it's like a story. It's like a choose your adventure book,
fucking terrible,
but with a game. So it's telling a story, and you get to choose, and your choices depict everything in the game, right? And so I'm like, well, okay, this will be something cool we can do together, and she can actually control this because it's not like real time. And so we did that game, and it was okay, but she made bad choices and shit though the whole time. I'm like, no, like don't fucking like, if you've played games, what a bad choice and a good choice, like, you already know, like, no, we're fucked if you do this, right? And she'd make the bad choice, and then I was like, this is dumb. Like, okay, and so I'd be sitting over there salty for a little bit because I'm like, why the fuck would you do? Why would you say that?
Right.
Like now we're screwed. And so no, absolutely not.
Yeah, and that's why I asked the poll for this week, which is like, would you date a gamer? Because my only experience is right. So I dated a gamer in my early 20s. My first 6-year girlfriend, she was a gamer, and it had its fun moments, but it was also like we would get addicted to games at the same time, which was like that. I get it's either cool or terrible. Mm-hmm. Like for us, it was like, well, we would both like be pieces of shit and not leave the house for like a week.
Yeah, somebody has to hold the responsibility, right? Like somebody has to be like, what the fuck are you doing? You've played like 90 hours this week. Like, goddamn, like you stink. We need groceries. Right. Have you paid the bills?
Yeah.
Like fucking, we have no dog food. Like, what's happening? So
I think that there's that piece. And I think, I need someone in my life that's like, hey, okay, you've been like gaming all week. Like, like I do get that guilt personally. So if I'm dating someone that's like, hey, I haven't seen you this week, like, you want to come out and do this thing on Saturday? Like, yeah, I need to do that. In my head, I'm like, I'd rather stay home and play video games, but like, I need to do that. So like, that works for me. I think also, I dated Lindsay, who was not a gamer, and I was totally cool with that. I think that was better. You know, like, as I said, I think that for me personally, I don't think I want to date a gamer, but I also like that was a really bad experience. I was actually kind of scarred from playing games with Lindsay because she was such a poor sport when it came to video games for some fucking
I didn't notice
reason.
that when we played Mario Party at all.
It was awful. Like she was just not a fun person to play video games with. So I think I'm
I'm gonna tell the story. I'm gonna air out a little laundry. We were at Fluff's got a lake house because he's, you know, rich like that, I guess. He's balling. And so we're at the lake house. And we had a Nintendo Wii playing Mario Party. I don't know which one, but we're playing Mario Party games.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I don't know how she was just when it was the two of them, but anytime I was around Fluff and Lindsay, she was always super nice and super friendly, like ridiculously friendly and nice.
Yeah. We
start playing Mario Party, a switch flipped, and she got super aggressive, mean, and toxic as fuck. And I'm just like, what the hell just happened, dude? Like, I had never seen that before. And it was, toxic to me, toxic to you, to everybody. And she was pissed if she didn't win. So
that was a thing. It was definitely a thing.
Definitely a thing. I was like, okay, don't play games with your girl. Got it.
Yeah. And it's just, it was so weird. Cause like, you know, she was she was very thoughtful. She's a very sweet gal, but for some reason, like video games or something that she felt overwhelmed or like that she was not doing well, she would just like internally just completely freak the fuck out. So it was not good. So I'm on the fence. I've had the experience where I dated a gamer, and maybe that was it too. Is like the gamer that I dated, she wasn't a great gamer, so we would like play games together. We get like addicted to video games together. Like this was in the age of, you know, like MMOs were coming out like every weekend, right? WoW killers. And so we'd like get addicted to some new MMO or whatever.
Yeah. So I have that experience with my kids though. So like my youngest son and I like to play games together. We play a lot of games together. And it's part of me wants to get him addicted to games that I like, and part of me doesn't. Because if he's into a game that I like, then it's fun to play with him for a little bit. But eventually I pull ahead, right? Either, you know, because I'm older, so I understand the game mechanics more. Or I'm better, or whatever the case is. And then it becomes a thing where they always want to play with you, but there may be times where you're like, but I want to do content that you're not suited for. You're not good enough to do it, but you can't be like, no, I'm not going to play with you, right? Because that's, you know, it's family. So your girl, your kids, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely draw a line on what type of games that I'll try to enjoy with my son. And like I experienced this a lot with Destiny, because I got him into Destiny and we played Destiny, and it was really, really fun to do the campaigns and do stuff together. But then it was like, hey, I want to do the raids with you. And it was like, okay, well, at first he's not good enough. I could teach him the mechanics and then he would be better than Pugs actually. But then it became like, okay, I want to do other really difficult content. And it'd be like, you're not quite there. You don't you don't understand gear mechanics and how gearing stats work and other things. So it became a kind of a burden. So I kind of switched away from that and got him hooked on games that I don't necessarily love. That way, when he's like, hey, you want to play this? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then we'll be at an equal spot because I haven't put any time into it for real, you know?
Yeah. So. And it was, like I said, with the gal, you know, she wasn't as good as me. Obviously, like most people aren't going to be, but that was kind of an annoyance. Like, yeah, I would enjoy the fact that we were like playing games together, but at the same time, we would, you know, we played EverQuest together, for example, and like she would like back up into a group of mobs, and it's like, God damn it, why the fuck did you do that? You just like wiped the group.
Look
behind you. And we would play Halo together, and like I would just kind of use her as bait. Like we weren't really playing together. You know, I would just be like, well, the only way I can win is to like use her as bait. So, and then we would like win. So it's like, yeah, we won together, but it's like, well, I just like carry you.
The whole time. Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I have like positive minds or experiences about it, but at the same time, I still don't know.
I would say no though. My initial response is it's good. I need that person to check me when I get too addicted, and I need that, and I need that escape from that person to, like, we have everything else that we're doing together, right? This is my thing. Let me use this as my hobby. That way I have like an escape without you. Like I think everybody needs a place or something that their significant other isn't part of to keep them kind of sane, or you start relying too much on that person, and that's a whole topic though. I can make a whole podcast out of that.
True.
So for the Pchild loves,
yeah,
I have something here.
Okay.
So my son and I got my youngest hooked on Mandalorian, right? We watched Mando.
That. I did finish that.
I know. Oh no, you're talking about Boba Fett. So I'm back up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I got him hooked on Mando.
Okay.
We watched it. He loved it. And that was his introduction to Star Wars. Okay.
Oh, like totally. Wow.
Totally, right.
Okay.
Because he's 10, right?
Okay, sure.
So I'm like, okay. So then Boba Fett came out and we started watching Boba Fett, and like no spoilers, but my overall opinions, I think the beginning episodes were absolute complete garbage. And I think towards the end of the season, when somebody was around, it made the episodes much better, and it was a decent show, right? So the last couple were okay. But he was into that, and he liked it. He agreed with me. He kind of thought, the first episodes were bad. And then so, he kind of knows who some of these characters are, but when you see scenes like they talk about Luke, or like Luke, in Mando, when they had the scene, and you're like, oh shit, is that him? And they're like, yeah. He doesn't get that really because he hasn't seen the movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay. So the other day I said, hey, do you want to watch the original? Do you want to watch Star Wars? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then so I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, how do I do this? Do I do them in order of episodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, or do I do them in theatrical release? Right. And so I made the decision to go with theatrical release. I was like, we're starting with OG episode 4. And I put it on, and this was Monday. And so Monday we watched episode 4, and he was like, that was amazing. I loved it. And I'm like, as a parent, you're like, yo, you did something right if your kids like Star Wars is the shit. 1977 Star Wars. This shit's older than us, right? This is how old. Like, he watched it. He was glued to it. He was like, as soon as it was over, he's like, can we watch the next one? Like right then. And I'm like, no, let's wait. We'll watch it tomorrow. So the next day we go to watch it, and my daughter's like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, well, we're watching Star Wars. You want to watch it? And she's like, yeah, I guess. So I gave her a brief recap of episode 4. She jumps in and watches episode 5 with us.
Okay.
Both of them are like, yo, this is legit. This is amazing. It's awesome. Let's watch the next one. I'm like, we'll do it tomorrow. So this week we watched the first 3 Star Wars. Tonight we started Phantom Menace, and I forgot how fucking god awful that movie is. Phantom Menace is absolute garbage. My son was even like, that was bad. He's like, dude, are they all, he's like, they sucked compared to the original ones. I'm like, yeah, they did. But my 2 youngest are into Star Wars now. I think it's, as a parent, that makes me feel good, man. Like, oh, I did something right. My kids are nerds.
That's dope.
So, yeah. But man, I forgot. I haven't seen Phantom Menace in probably 10 years, 15 years, 20. I don't know. Maybe since the theater. I don't even know.
Yeah.
That movie is absolute horrible. Like, I can't believe that's a Star Wars title. If you haven't, like, go watch Phantom Menace again, and it'll remind you. It's like Matrix 4 bad.
Well, let's not go that far, but
it's pretty bad.
It's bad. Yeah.
It's pretty fucking bad. So,
yep.
Anyway, that's my Pchild.
But it has Matrix has no redeeming qualities, right? Star Wars Episode 1 has some, like the fights are pretty cool. Darth Maul is cool.
Darth Maul, that's it. Yeah. Like, it was. The story is so
bad.
It's so bad. It's just like, what are you doing, man? Who wrote this shit? Like, you took 15 years off to make this movie. Like, this is what you produced out of 15 years of fan fiction and scripts and writers and like, I don't know, man. Makes me sad all over again. So I know I remember not liking it back in 1999 when it came out. But the only good redeeming quality is Natalie Portman was in there.
Big Natalie Portman fan.
Yeah, she was, hottie back in the day.
Prime.
Let's jump into some Twitter questions.
Okay.
If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can drop them in our Discord or tweet at us, Lord__Fluffy, or at ThaPChild. The first question comes from Hex. Hex says, what's something that you find really cringy / annoying in TV shows or movies that everybody always overlooks? This is easy for me.
That's a good fucking question.
I'll go first while you think about it, because mine's instant. I absolutely hate how easy hacking is for everybody in movies and TV.
Yeah.
They'll sit at a computer and it's like click, 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 firewalls down. Click, click, click. Oh, I'm in NASA's database. Oh, here's the blueprints for the museum. I'm like, bitch, it took you 14 seconds to do that?
Yeah.
Like, that is not how this works, you know? So, not how this works. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I guess I have a couple. Like, one that we always talk about is like when movies just go like too fucking nerdy, right? Like what they're, you know, it's like a superhero movie or whatever, and just like they just go over the top with how fucking nerdy it is. That drives me nuts. But outside of that, when like they travel, you know, like instantly, and like no one slept, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we got to go to Egypt, and they're in like in New York.
Wonder Woman 84. Right. Yeah, like Wonder Woman 84, she lassos lightning bolts to like get all the way to like Europe, so like in Egypt.
Right.
And then like the next scene, she's back in New York. You're like, what?
The fuck just happened? Yeah.
What just happened? Yeah. Why did they even go to Egypt in the first place? It didn't. Yeah, it's so stupid.
Right.
You know what makes me sad? This is derailing. Okay. The Wonder Woman 84, which I honestly feel was a really, really horribly like pacing, story, like everything about that movie was bad, in my opinion.
Agree.
They have that director, I think, was going to do a Star Wars movie or something. I read this the other day and I was like, oh God, please no. I don't remember what, but she was signed on to a big project, Star Trek, Star Wars, something really big. Like, no, not Gal. Gal's
the director.
No, the director.
Okay.
And I'm just thinking, she produced Wonder Woman 84, which was garbage. So please, no. Like, I don't want her to making this. I'll have to look it up and see. But like, Asparagus fan says, "What invention? Yeah, I know. What invention would you wish would hurry up and get here?"
Oh man. I mean, like a proper like spaceship, so we could like visit other planets and shit. I wish that would get here. I think that's realistic. I think at some point, like if our species doesn't kill itself off or like the planet doesn't explode, like we'll eventually like have spaceships and go.
Well,
places.
We have to because we're gonna consume all the resources here. Like that's.
I would say like time machine, but I don't know if that's like realistic.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I would say okay. So for like mine's like even more realistic. Like in like actually, I think we'll see it in our lifetime. I hope.
Okay.
Wireless power. I don't understand why I have to set my phone down to charge it. Like I want to be able to have a transmitter, and like my brain will probably get fried from this, but like cell phone and Wi-Fi doesn't do that already. Right. But like have a device or a puck that you can put in a room, and that supplies a wireless current to devices. So you can have like your Oculus that never needs to get plugged in, or you never have to dock your phone to charge it, or your mouse or your earbuds or any device can run on that power. So, and I honestly feel like that'll be a thing. That's the next game changer, in my opinion, is when we get wireless power.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then eventually it'll be like cell phone towers, right? You'll have wireless power towers that just run everywhere. So you'll never have to plug your shit in. So
true.
That's my dream. Eakers says, what's the best response to "I am pregnant"? No, I'm sorry. What's the worst response? I apologize. You said, what's the worst response?
Fuck,
it's not mine,
right? I'd be like, oh shit, damn. I don't, depending on the girl.
You got to say it's not mine in a tone that's like, it's not mine. You know, like I didn't do it. So
true.
I don't know. What's the worst response? Let me look up Planned Parenthood's number. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. That's not funny. Why'd you laugh at that?
You did.
That's it? Okay, great. We're leaving that one alone.
I don't know.
Coda says, thanks for that. Coda says, what food do you think you've eaten the most of in your life?
Ooh. Food that I've eaten the most of.
That's interesting, man. I
mean, like if I have to, I don't know, like, cause I was young for a long time and poor, and I was a gamer, so like Man, I had a fuck ton of ramen in my 20s, late teens.
You think you ate more ramen than anything? I mean, is like if all genres of pizza count, I mean, I've eaten a lot of pizza, but is that number one?
Pizza.
I don't know. I mean, I've probably eaten a shit ton of. If you're lumping all cereal together too, I've probably had a shit ton of cereal as well.
I guess eggs would probably be rank one. Like realistically,
they go in everything.
Yeah,
too. Like
and you've had it your whole life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're not a fan of eggs.
I would say it's yeah, eggs is one I wouldn't even have thought of. That's a good one. Eggs is probably super high for me. I would say pizza or cereal is probably up there on the list too. And obviously water doesn't count because water would probably always win.
Yeah.
Kingy the Roo said, if you had a boat right now, what would you name it?
Ooh. This is like a actual thing because I'm going to have a boat one day. So I have to really put thought into this.
I already know, bro. How did you not already got the new meta?
New meta?
The name of the boat. The name of the boat is new meta, dude.
That's pretty good.
That's actually a good boat name.
It is. It's honestly, not bad, yeah.
Like new meta on the back of your boat. That's legit.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty legit. But if I can't take that one, you already took it, like on your boat.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sailing along beside you on my vessel called... Fuck.
The Face?
Face of Diablo.
No, just the Face.
Just the face.
Just the Face.
It is unlikely not to name your boat, so I'd have to have something. Yeah. Maybe I'd be like really pretentious and be like Fluffy 1, like implying, or maybe like Fluffy 7, implying that I have like 6 more boats.
7 boats, yeah. You got 7 total. Is that it? Fluff 7?
Yeah, I guess so.
Fluff 7? Okay. And then Losi asked the question. He says, what's your most toxic trait?
I mean, okay, let's answer for each other as well.
Okay. Wow, this is gonna go well. All right. So my own, if I'm playing a game where I can kill or inconvenience somebody, I'll use WoW as an example. Like, let's say somebody's leveling and I happen to run past them on my main, or any character that I'm pretty sure I could kill them on, they are dead. 100% of the time, I am killing them. And I will probably kill them a couple times just because I can.
Okay.
Same for GTA or any game where you can like toxically kill somebody, I will definitely do it. I'm kind of that scumbag that likes to ruin your evening a little bit, you know?
Okay.
That's my most toxic trait.
Man, I have so many toxic traits to choose from.
So many. The list is so big.
I mean, ultimately, I guess my toxic trait would be like, I don't give a shit. And that's like, that can be applied to so many different things. Like, positively, it can be described as like, okay, well, I don't get embarrassed. I don't care what people think about me. And like, I think that's like a definite freedom in life. But it also like, I think has a penalty like of like when people like when a girlfriend will complain about something, I'm like, I'm listening because like I know it's my job to do as like a partner, but like internally I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, stop complaining. Like, that's all I can think of in my own head. So, and I'm sure like it's on my face because I've never been one that hides, like not liking something very well. So,
okay. All right.
And your toxic trait,
okay,
would be that I'd say like the worst thing you've done in our friendship would be like that pressure while Lindsay was around to be like, oh, put a ring on it, dude, because that was just not good. That was just not good.
I don't think. Okay, in my defense, I thought that she was on board with the no ring train. Like, I thought that you found somebody that was equally like that.
But I think that even if she was,
I thought she literally was, or I never would have said it.
Right. But I think you're also playing that seed of like, well, why doesn't he like want to marry me? Like, yeah, I'm on board with him not but like a
I
normal
feel like
person
this
was
is a
like,
therapy session right now.
Yeah,
I think you've
yeah,
been mad at me for a while about this.
Yes. Don't do that.
I'm sorry, man.
That's your toxic.
So what about when I'm like talking about the boo? Does she have like a key to your place now or stuff? On the pod?
Yeah, I mean, if one of them were listening, it would not bode well for me. Because you make me sound like a monster.
You just said it though.
No, I was just saying in the past year, if one of them, the ones that I've dated,
the one.
See, you're literally doing it right now.
No, you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. You gotta think about
like the course of the time that I've been doing this podcast and been single. Yeah, there's been multiple women, for sure.
Multiple. Okay. All right. This guy gets it, right?
Oh my God.
No. Yeah, I do like to give you a hard time about it. I think. I definitely did the ring thing, and I legitimately thought that she was in the same boat. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. So I wasn't until after the fact. You should have just pulled me to the side and been like, "Yo, P, she might actually want to get married. Can you please shut the fuck up?" And I would have been like, "Yo, my bad. All right, it's good." But you never did. You just played it off like, if she doesn't want to get married, fuck up. Your most toxic trait?
Yeah.
Man, what do I
I think you're just having a really hard time thinking of something you don't like about me, and so
yeah, it's definitely not your vainness.
Stalling.
You talk a lot of shit, just random shit.
What?
You just talk a lot, of shit, and I think you're your worst enemy with people that don't know you.
Okay.
Like people, because like how you had the perception, like in the old regime, they were like fuck Fluff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I genuinely think you got that because of your shit talking, but you don't mean it. Like you offended me very early in our relationship. Like you pissed me off a couple times. I'm like, fuck this guy. Is he serious right now? But then I had to understand that you were like, it's just you talking shit. Like you just love to talk shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's
true.
So, so I would say, yeah, that's it. You're definitely a shit talker.
Shit talker. Okay. Yeah. Fair.
I'll go with that. I mean, with a close second, your vainness.
Vanity. Yeah. I get down with that.
That's it. That's all the questions we had for this week.
Easy.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what. Listen.
What? Okay.
Guys, I'm going to go read all the YouTube comments. If you've made it this far on the YouTube video or you're in chat, you can go post it on the YouTube video or in chat now if you want. What is Fluff's most toxic trait? Leave a comment.
Yeah, what is Pchild's most toxic trait?
No, we're not. I don't have any for real. So
okay.
I'm gonna collect a couple of those for the next episode, and I'll be like, okay, let's see what chat thinks.
Yeah. Inability. It's not a thing. Okay, we're not going to react to chat. Okay, it's not. Obviously, I've committed many times in my life. Anyways.
Mm-hmm. What? Committed to what? Committed to not committing?
To women. I've committed to many.
To women?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my life, for sure. 3 6-year relationships. It's a lot.
I mean, it is.
A long time.
36 3-day relationships too. I don't know. I'm making that up, by the way, chat. Don't actually hold them to that. Probably much more. So,
wow.
No, I'm kidding.
Toxic trait.
See, that's my toxic. That's me being toxic. I love to give him shit about relationships. That's it. I do get crazy enjoyment from that. I'm not sure why. So, if you want to catch more of the new meta, next Thursday. Mm-hmm. Is the episode live on Twitch on Fluff's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Lord_Fluffy. You can follow us on Twitter at ThaPChild and at Lord__Fluffy. 2 underscores there. Join our Discords. Links are everywhere in the description and maybe in chat live. I don't know.
We should start taking suggestions for episode 200.
Ooh. Definitely not doing Death Nut Challenge.
Death Nut Challenge 2.0. They have a new one.
It's even worse, bro. Did you see the Schofield rating they put on that thing?
Was it more than like the
Well, the one that we did was like what 16? You said right? 13,
yeah,
16,
something
something like that. I think the new one's 20.
Oh wait, what do you mean we? Time out.
No, I did it till I almost died.
Didn't you quit on 4?
There was 4 total. I think I quit.
No,
at
it's
3,
5
right?
total. 5 total.
Okay.
You quit on
yeah.
3
Well, then
or
I
4.
quit at 4. Yeah.
4
I was like
1 million, and 5 was 16.
No, 4 was like 4 million.
No,
5
4 was
like
1 million, 100%.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not killing myself for that shit. I would have died in your apartment. No lies, man.
I know. I was there.
I fucking couldn't pick a glass of milk up.
I still like when your wife's like, "Oh, you should have finished." I'm like, "You have no
you have no idea.
Was gonna die."
I literally was like, maybe you should call an ambulance. Like I was like, honestly, if we wouldn't have been live, I probably would have. Yeah. But I was like trying to like man up because we were live, and I was like, nah, I'm cool. I'm okay. I don't know. Actually, I wasn't even like I'm cool. I was like, I don't know.
It was terrifying. You know? Watching you take a drink or try to take a drink of the milk was like, oh my god, like he's actually in danger. Like I thought I was
gonna fucking die. I'm not gonna. I would never. You'll never see me do that shit again, dude. If you're like, yo, people are like, yo, P, you should do the hot ones challenge. I'm like, I ate hotter than the hot ones challenge. Yeah. Like that's not, Yeah. So
it's funny because Quinn did like a 1 million or something. He was like all kinds of liquids were like oozing out of his body, and he was freaking out. And
yeah,
it's like, bro,
fuck that, dude. No. Don't do that shit. It's not worth it.
No.
Yeah, but you did the sick whatever the hell it was, and you literally sat in the bathroom the whole rest of the night.
I did.
Oh, I'm fucking dying. Yep. And I'm like, I was cool after an hour. I was back to normal.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's it.
Easy.
Catch us next week.
Yep.
175.
175. Peace.